So I had recently just became aware that there was a fragrance house that a lot of people were hyping up. I honestly didn't hear about it until about mid last year when I guess they released a bunch of new fragrances and it was getting hype on other channels. They were advertising them, whatever was going on. And then I started to come over to my channel late last year, like November, December. A lot of people were talking about, especially the one fragrance, and that was TUMI 19 Degree. And so I got a dipstick atomizer of it sent to me in one of these packs that I got from News Parfums, along with Awaken and Unwind. And Awaken kind of smelled a little bit older, still good. Unwind was meh. 19 Degree, I couldn't really get much out of it. I hate dipstick atomizers, to be fair. But anyway, so Jeff from SoCal Scents decided that he was going to send me a few decants from the house. So today we're going to be doing my first impression / full review on 19 Degree and also TUMI Awaken Distilled. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude. Thank you guys so much for joining me for yet another first impression video with a little bit of an asterisk because technically this is my second impression on TUMI 19 Degree, but I had Unwind, Awaken, and 19 Degree that all came in, and 19 Degree, unlike the other two, was in a dipstick atomizer, which I don't like dipstick atomizers. I think they're stupid. I don't think they should even exist, and I legit got nothing out of it. I thought I smelled something, but I didn't like it, but then I thought it, and I was like, maybe I do like it. But anyway, I'm getting back to this, and I just sprayed both of them on adjacent hands. So I have TUMI Awaken Distilled on this hand. You can see the sheen just went on there, and then I have TUMI 19 Degree on my right hand, and I can tell you it doesn't smell anything like that little dipstick atomizer I had, so I'm glad I did this. But shout out and thank you to Jeff from SoCal Scents for sending me both what we're going to be reviewing today, which is TUMI Awaken Distilled and TUMI 19 Degree. If you haven't seen his channel, he does compliment tests with models, actresses. It's called SoCal Scents, so definitely go check that out. But yeah, that's what we're talking about today. So before we get into it, make sure that if you're not already, that you subscribe if you like my content. Also, comment below. Let me know if you've tried these, what you think of them. I already know a lot of people's thoughts on 19 Degree. Everybody seems that like they either really like it or they really don't like it. So, I mean, it's one of those on one side of the spectrum or another. And it seems like the kind of people that love it are the kind that already like the Tuscan Leathers, the Creeds, the Creed Aventuses, the Nishane Hachivats. It seems like the people who like 19 Degree already like those type of fragrances, and the people who don't like it seem like they're not like the heavy, masculine style fragrance lovers. With that said, let's just talk about the other one first. So today we're going to be talking about TUMI Awaken Distilled first. So the opening of this is really good. This is really nice. You know, it kind of reminds me of a fragrance though. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. It smells legit like a modernized but smoother version of the Abercrombie store if you walk through the mall. So Fierce or First Instinct. Yeah, it's like kind of like First Instinct maybe. Fierce. No, this is Fierce. It smells like if you walked by the Abercrombie store in the late 90s, early 2000s. It's going to be modernized, and it's going to be like, it's going to have kind of like that citrusy aspect to it, but it's going to be relying more on that lavender heavy, like mandarin orange lavender mixture. But it's definitely aromatic. It's definitely sweet, has a little bit of a citrusy tone to it, musky, but lavender dominant. It's just exactly like Fierce. It has that citrus aromatic, kind of citrus salad mixed with aromatics. But it's smoother and more modernized. I I really like this opening. It's very mass appealing. Very mass appealing. But I've seen the prices on this, $165. So I'm very interested to see how this one dries down, because for $165, do you really want to buy something that's just more of a modernized version of Fierce? That's what it smells like to me. I don't know if it's just me. Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys also get that kind of Abercrombie DNA? It's definitely that kind of like lavender, aromatic, heavy, patchouli-based DNA that is a little bit of this sweetness to it. And then over top, you have that kind of citrus salad that doesn't really come across as too much citrus. It's kind of just like all blended together, just like Abercrombie. But it's getting more into this like lavender patchouli mixture now. Definitely a little bit of grapefruit too. Something like that. Yeah, like bergamot, mandarin orange, maybe some grapefruit. Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's very interesting and very good. I liked Fierce. That type of DNA is obviously mass appealing for a reason. It was one of the top most known fragrances back in the day. Percival is very, very good, very known. Mont Blanc Legend, very good, very known. They're all in that same type of DNA. But most of the ones that I just mentioned you can get for much cheaper than this. It's still very good though. Very modernized. I still would prefer Percival though. And Percival you can find for cheaper. I'm not sure. But let me, since 19 degrees already drying down, I'm going to spray 19 degree again, but on the other side of my hand. Ugh, it's stuck. There we go. I was going to say, not again! Okay, so this is not even close to what I got on that dipstick atomizer. This almost smells... I don't think there's pineapple in this. I know I was saying the whole Creed thing, but I didn't think that there was pineapple in this. Nobody mentioned pineapple. It kind of smells like if you were taking raspberry. There's like this fruity raspberry. That is front and center. That is there. But it's almost like a fruity raspberry pineapple blend. If I can recall, somebody told me that the notes in TUMI 19 degree on my live stream were bergamot, raspberry, and leather. I know there's leather in this, but the only thing I can think is that maybe it's the bergamot mixing together with the raspberry that's making it smell like that, but it smells like raspberry and pineapple. Very fruity. Very canned pineapple too. Like canned pineapple, raspberry mixture. But then behind that, you kind of have this leathery, woody, musky mixture. I like that a lot. I'm very nervous to see how this dries down though, because it seems like it has the ability. If that fruitiness sticks there for the whole fragrance, I will love this fragrance. But if it gets into this very woody, kind of musky, very masculine, that's not my style. Kind of like a Ventus. I don't like that birchy, musky. And the background of the fragrance isn't like something that I'm obsessed with, but the way that it's blended together with this kind of like it's like almost like a canned pineapple mixed together with raspberry. It's very fruity and very fresh and clean. I really like that, but I'm very interested to see where this goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys on hold for about half hour. I'm going to come back, let you guys know if these have dried down the way that I hope they will. Again, Awaken Distilled, kind of, it's on this side, not this side. Awaken Distilled kind of smells like Abercrombie & Fitch. If you walk by the store in the early 2000s, just more modernized and smoother. It's drying down a little bit, because in the opening it was smoother, more modern, but as it's drying down, it's getting a little bit different, so I'm going to let you guys know. So I'll be back in about 30 minutes, give these time to dry, let you know what I think. So I'll be right back. Alright my peeps, so I am back. It has actually been about 50 minutes, because for some reason this TUMI 19 degrees didn't want to dry down. I don't know if it was like on my skin or what, but it didn't feel like drying down. It didn't really change much. I don't know if that's the way that fragrance rocks, but with that said, we are getting into the dry downs of both TUMI Awaken Distilled and TUMI 19 degrees. Thank you for sticking with me. Again, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So, Awaken Distilled, it's good. The opening is the best part. The opening is the smoothest, the cleanest, the freshest, and the most modern version of the entire fragrance. As it dries down, it gets like, it's very linear. It's kind of like the same. The citruses dissipate, and you're really just left kind of with that like aromatic, sweet lavender, a little bit of an patchouli mixture underneath there. A little bit of woods come in, same as pretty much the rest of the other fragrances that are compared to it. So again, the Abercrombie fragrances, Percival, stuff like that. It's just, my main issue here is the fragrance smells really good. It's just, it's not worth $100 or more. Because there's other fragrances out there that do what this does. While this is probably the smoothest and the cleanest, and I still, as far as the scent alone, probably would give it like an 8.2, 8.3. It is nothing that's breaking the bank, but as far as the scent itself, it smells very nice. I can't knock it for that. It's a very good release, but it is something that has been done before to death. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like if Abercrombie still sprayed their entire store with fragrance, but it was nowadays. This could easily smell like it was being released by Abercrombie. That is the only thing I can say about it. It still smells very good. Would I pay the money for it? No. If it did get to discounters and I actually texted Jeff and I said I would buy this if it was a 1 ounce. Right now, they're only going for the larger sizes for $165, that or $185 or something like that. But all the other ones like Awaken and Unwind and stuff like that, they all are at like Burlington for $35 for a 1 ounce. If this comes as a 1 ounce to Burlington, I'll buy it. I'm usually against the smaller bottles, but for this one, I would make an exception because I would like to wear it. My wife does like it. I just had her try it out. She said it smells very good, but it reminded her of something. I said, duh, it smells like Abercrombie. She's like, I would have said Hollister. I was like, yeah, well, I mean, shut up. But now let's get to TUMI 19 degrees. So overall, this is a good fragrance. It's projecting, it's performing. There's a good sillage on it. You can't really knock it for that. Won't be doing a full review on it outside of probably my live stream. So if you're interested, check out one of my next live streams. I'll probably talk about the full review on it. But TUMI 19 degree, it dried down exactly how I thought it would dry down. Didn't do it as quickly as I thought it would, but it dried down exactly how I thought it would dry down. So in the opening is amazing. The opening is a 9 for me. I love it. The opening lasts for about 30, 35, 40 minutes. And I did look it up. There's no pineapple in it, and I'm shocked by that. There has to be pineapple in this. But if it's not pineapple, it's just the way that the bergamot's mixing with the raspberry. There is this bergamot raspberry mixture that smells like canned pineapple mixed with fresh raspberries. That's the only way I can put it to you, and it's dominant. It is dominant for the first 35 minutes. It's in your face. After 15 minutes, it does start to trickle down, but it never fully goes away. I was so excited that it wasn't leaving. And then in just like 1 second, it was there, and 1 second it wasn't. And I was like, damn it. Because there is a leather tone to it. The opening has more of this mixture. It kind of smells, and I understand why people say it smells like a mix between Aventus and Tuscan leather. I understand that now because the Tuscan leather with that raspberry note, the leather isn't as prominent in this fragrance. It's kind of like the leather that you get in Aventus cologne, where it's kind of just like an undertoned nuance. But you do get that raspberry note in there. The pineapple in this makes it, it's almost like the pineapple that you get from that Cayad Al Fursan, that, you know, I'm talking about, that Lattafa fragrance that smells almost like grilled pineapple. It's kind of what it smells like mixed together with that raspberry. The raspberry is like 75% of the fruitiness, but then there's this like pineapple note to it, and I really like it. But As it dries down, it gets to exactly where I thought it would. And that is, it's more in that Aventus style DNA. And I know why people like it. I understand why people like it. It's not the kind of fragrance that I rock with. I don't like the earthier type aromatic style fragrances. This is like an earthier fragrance that has a little bit of a leathery undertone. It definitely has this like lavender earthiness, a little bit of patchouli, very musky. Definitely has a woodiness to it as well. And it still smells very nice. The raspberry and that pineapple are still like waning underneath. But if that opening stuck, I would love this fragrance. It would be one of my best fragrances out there. But as it dries down, my wife does not like it. She said that the opening was amazing. She goes, I was actually going to wear the opening. It is unisex. The opening is super unisex. But as it dries, it gets like super masculine because that fruitiness kind of dissipates underneath it. And you're left with a woody, musky, earthy Aventus style. It doesn't smell like Aventus, but it's right there in that style. I mean, it has that kind of darker, musky, earthy, woody, lavender, that kind of stuff is just all mixed together, and it's super masculine, and I don't like those. Like, this is the type of fragrance that I bet you Jen Sense loves. It's just not my cup of tea. It's kind of like that Aaron Terrence Hughes Supernova. I think that's what it was called. That I didn't like because it was kind of the same. Started out very sparkly and effervescent, and then dried down very like super woody and earthy and aromatic. I just don't like those type of fragrances. I never have. That's why my favorite fragrance from the line from Creed is Aventus Cologne, because it never fully gets that. It never fully, it keeps that sparkling aura. Why did I say aura? The sparkling aura that the fragrance has, it keeps that sparkling freshness throughout the entire fragrance. So 19 Degree, the opening is like a 9.1, 9.2 for me, but the dry down is just, and again, this isn't terrible, it's a 7.5. The dry down is a 7.5. It just gets kind of earthy, aromatic, woody with a little bit of this leathery undertone, and then musky. It's just like every other fragrance that's made in that style. I could find 500 other fragrances that smell like the dry down of that. It's not anything special. And so I was debating on buying 19 Degree, and now I'm not. I know I will not buy 19 Degree. I know I will not wear 19 Degree. So I'm being honest with you guys. I really, really, really like the first 40 minutes of the fragrance. I think it's amazing. As it dries down, it's okay. It's just, I don't like that earthy aromatic tone. It's just, it's not, I'm using the wrong words. It's not that I don't like it. I don't love. That's the way I should say it. I don't love the earthy aromatic tone. It's not terrible. It's something that I could wear and get away with easily. It's just I have so many fragrances now that I choose what I want to wear, and I would not choose 19 Degree unless I just wanted to keep spraying that opening because I love that pineapple raspberry mixture. But I'm just sad that that goes away. And it's replaced with exactly what I thought it was. The reason I don't like Creed Aventus is I don't like that dry down, the birch wood, kind of like that birch tar mixture. I don't like that. And I've never liked that. That's why I don't like that. I don't like Hachivat. But I like things like Cedrat Boisé that do that style of fragrance, Elysium, that do that style of fragrance, but they kind of keep that opening. Like that sparkling citrus from Elysium. It stays. And then it gets a little bit warmer and it does something different. It's not too like that. And then you have the Cedrat Boisé, which has that kind of leather and vanilla mixture that goes through the whole fragrance. I like those, but this one, I'm making excuses for myself, but it's not terrible. I know a lot of people like it. Totally understand why people like it. This kind of reminds me of like Kayed Al Farsan, the opening all the way through the dry down. If at 40 minutes you stopped it and made it earthy and woody, just like in Kayed Al Farsan, how that does it, and then you added raspberry in the opening. So that's the best way I can explain that fragrance. It kind of smells like Kayed Al Farsan with raspberry in the opening. That's the way I'm looking at it, and it's okay. Damn, that pineapple feeling is coming back now, so I don't know. I'm going to probably have to do a full review on that, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it. I'm super confused now just after that last smell, but all right. Well, thank you guys so much. I kept you here so long, so thank you guys for whoever stayed this long. I'll be back with another one. Peace out.